Hey, it's Jamie. Welcome back to my channel, Hiding Hair Loss. Today I want to share some tips and tricks on how to wear a hair topper in a ponytail. And as you can see, I currently am not wearing a hair topper, and I just wanted to show how my ponytail looks without any additional help, which it clearly needs. I do have hair loss in the front as well as all over my scalp, so I don't have a lot of hair to work with, and I have a lot of specific areas that I'm looking to cover. So today I want to talk a little bit about my favorite ways to utilize the topper to make my ponytail more full, as well as using it to cover the specific areas that I feel like need covering, where I'm losing the most hair. So this is my hair down. It's quite long. I just don't have a lot of it left, especially in the back here. And like I said, across the front, I have a lot of little spots that I'm looking to cover, so it gets a little bit tricky. So some of my favorites include Upgrade Courtney, especially the new low density version, which is a 7x8 base. So this one works great when I wear my hair down, and I can also use it in a ponytail. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on and show you what it looks like in a ponytail. And before I do the ponytail, one of my first tips that I have is I do like to use the halo wire even if I'm using a ponytail. And the halo wire is this stretchy elastic piece that is looping around the back of my neck. So what you do have to pull out a little bit of hair from the nape of your neck. Oops. From underneath that halo wire. So I don't want this. Oops, there's the wire. I don't want this wire to be showing. So I'm scooping out some hair to hang underneath the wire so that when I put my hair up, it's gonna cover the wire. Though it is a clear wire, but it's just nice to have a little bit of extra coverage. I do have hair loss along the sides here. So I do like to leave some pieces out that I can then strategically tuck behind my ear and kind of swoop it around and cover that frontal hair loss. So for now though, I'm just gonna leave these front sections out that I'm gonna eventually tuck behind my ears. And then with this topper, the base is a great size where you can do, I think a lot of women prefer doing the low ponytail, so I'll start with that to show. And that's a really easy, tuck these front pieces, like I said. So that's the low ponytail with this piece. Obviously it gives great coverage at the top where I need it. It gives me enough extra hair on the sides that I have something to cover my frontal loss. And it also gives really nice volume to my ponytail. So this one's covering all those bases. I will say I prefer wearing my hair a little bit higher up, and this topper, the base is a good size where I can pull it up without the base puckering. I'm sure it depends on the size of your head though, but let me just show you how I have been preferring to wear this. Okay, so I have my hair fully up. So as you can see, I can pull this one pretty high up. It feels really comfortable. I think the halo wire takes a lot of the weight, so then the clips are just kind of anchoring it in place. It's a great option. I think the 7x8 base, you can get away with having the low ponytail and then the high ponytail. You can always pull out some face framing. This piece is lace front, so if you need to pull it to the front, you have that option. I like to use a little bit of my own hair, but just kind of pull out what you need. And then, like I said, the front loss, I just kind of scoop and tuck to disguise that. Okay, I'm gonna take this one off. And I also should note that another characteristic that makes that Upgrade Courtney such a good choice for a ponytail is because it's the mono top. So it has a really flexible base, and this area in the top is also very flexible. So a piece like this works really well for ponytails because it kind of can like move and mold as you're like pulling the hair up. And just in contrast, I want to show you a piece that's maybe not as easy to do a ponytail, which is this Upgrade Aura piece, which is beautiful. And this hair is really like amazing to have in a ponytail. But it's the skin top, so amazing, realistic part line. But this is a lot thicker of a base, especially at the middle here where you have like the double layers. So it's a little more tricky to put on as a ponytail, but you can do it, but I would say leave it in a low ponytail. Let me show you how it looks, just to show you what I mean. Okay, so here's the piece on, and like I always do, I'm gonna take out the front so that I can tuck these at the end. But this piece, I would do a low ponytail. Obviously it's giving me the coverage I need at the top. This one has a good amount of density to it, so I'm getting a really nice full ponytail. And obviously it gives me enough extra hair that I can swoop around and cover the sides that I need covered. And this one, because it is a little harder to blend the front, I like to leave out a couple like wispy pieces just to kind of blend. This one is the Upgrade Aura, and it works great in a low ponytail, I feel like, but it has a little less flexibility in the base of it. So for instance, if I'm wanting to do my ponytail up higher, I feel like it sort of starts to pucker a bit at the top. It also feels heavier and kind of getting a little bit of like that funneling at the top. You can kind of hear there's like a little bit of space in between the top of my head and the hairpiece. It can definitely be done. I just don't feel like it looks quite as nice as using like the monofilament pieces for a higher ponytail. But this one definitely works great as a low ponytail piece. And like I said, it gives you like a lot of coverage, which is super nice, especially if you're missing a lot of hair like I am. All right, let me take this one off. So the last one I want to talk about that's the easiest, I feel, for me personally to do a ponytail with is this little 3x4 topper called Velora. This one is just the 3 clips at the top. It's really just covering your part line. It doesn't give you a whole lot of extra hair in your ponytail, but it does make it super easy to pull your hair up. I'll show you this one. So it really goes up super easy. I can put it up really high without getting any kind of like puckering or lift or anything like that. And then I would say if you're worried about the fact, so it's not giving me a whole lot of extra ponytail, but if you're worried about that, you can always utilize this piece and do sort of like a messy bun so that you're disguising, you know, that you are lacking in the volume area of your ponytail. Let me go ahead and put it up and I'll show you how it turns out. Okay, so here's Velora, and as you can see, I can do like a really nice high up kind of bun. And if you have enough hair, you can definitely do this one in a ponytail. My ponytail is just really sparse. And it gives me my part line back, which I am lacking. And this one does have some face framing that I like to leave down and just kind of look a little bit more like natural. So this one is, like I said, a smaller base to it. I would say as a rule of thumb, the smaller the base, the higher up you could probably put your ponytail or your bun, because you're not getting like the bend of like swooping your hair around. So I do love that I've found some options that I can still wear my hair up even though I have pretty extensive hair loss. The hair toppers are just so lightweight and just easy. It doesn't feel like a lot of extra bulk. And I love that I can utilize my own bio hair where I still have it, like at the nape of my neck and that sort of thing. It helps the ponytail look really natural. So yeah, those are some ways that I have been utilizing my favorite toppers to still wear a ponytail. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of motivation to go ahead and try your hair topper in a ponytail. It's definitely a fun way to switch up your style, and it definitely gives you a little bit of freedom to be more active and not have to worry about your hair loss whenever you're like trying to enjoy yourself and do things that you might need to wear a ponytail for. I am really enjoying having that option again and not always having to throw on a hat to cover my hair. If you're interested in any of these pieces, I'm sure that there'll be links below where you can find them. They are all from Uniwigs. I know I'm personally just kind of learning as I go, and it's nice that I have a bunch of pieces to try. I know not everyone has that luxury, so I am trying my best to like share what I can with you with the amount of products that I have, and give you like a good look at the details so that you have an easier time choosing what you think would be best for you. I hope everyone's doing well, and I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in my next video.